Hey everybody, Gary here with POW Music, and in this video, I don't just want to teach you how to play this awesome solo by Noel Gallagher, but I really want to explore a couple of the concepts that are at play in this awesome solo. So we've got this pentatonic staircase thing. We're going to talk about how we could use this in both major and minor. In this case, we're using it in major. We've got this cool 3/4 rhythmic displacement thing where we go 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a... So we're going to talk about that rhythm, which is really popular in blues and rock. We're going to go over unison bends, right? So we're going to go over the whole thing note for note, make sure that we have the techniques, but then we're going to explore and see if we could take this stuff, get it into our own vocabulary, and use it creatively ourselves. We're also going to go over some of the tones, the gear, and that kind of stuff to help you get this big sound that Noel Gallagher always has, just always in the band Oasis. There's this just real heavy, thick sound, and on this solo in particular. Now, if you want to learn the chord progression and the rhythm guitar, I've got a separate lesson on that. I'm not sure if I'm going to post this one or that one first, but they'll be posted within a week of each other. So check the link in the description to go over my rhythm guitar lesson on this song. If you're looking to download the playable tab Guitar Pro and downloadable tab PDF, the link to that is in the description. All right, let's get into the lesson. So first things first, to get the tone of this solo, you want to use your bridge pickup, humbucker preferred, tone all the way up, volume all the way up, distortion, a more vintage type distortion like a Marshall distortion or a cranked overdrive. The line there is kind of blurred. Reverb, spring reverb, and delay. So here's that reverb and delay. And the distortion gives us that big fat sustain, right? Here it is just clean. Here's the distortion. So yeah, there's quite a bit of distortion. So I'm using the Helix, I'm using the classic distortion, and I'm adding an overdrive on top of that distortion to just really get that big sound. And that big sound allows you to be so light with your touch. So if you watch Noel play, he's barely picking the strings, very light touch. But when you have a cranked amp with all that distortion, you don't need to do much. The amp and the effects are going to do all that for you. So something to keep in mind, because when you don't have the distortion on, it's not, you got to dig in a little harder because the notes aren't going to pop as much. So we're in the key of C, and the main pentatonic pattern right here is starting on the C with the pinky on the 8th fret. Now you see those intervals there. So the C major pentatonic scale, we have a root, a second, a third, no fourth. We have a fifth, a sixth, no seventh, and then a root, right? So, right? If I wanted to play the full major scale, I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. But instead I have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1. And then that repeats. Now everything we're playing here in the key of C major can also be played in its relative minor key, which is A minor. But if it was A minor, we would just think of these intervals differently. This is C. But imagine it was A minor. Same patterns, all the stuff is going to work in A minor, but here we're seeing it, thinking of it, and hearing it as C major and not A minor. And that's determined by the chords. So even though we're not going over the chords here, you always want to know what chords you're soloing over. So definitely check out my rhythm guitar lesson on this. But as you can see, it all revolves around the C chord. Starts on the C chord, ends on the C chord. C is home. Here I'm going to play the same exact solo in the key of A minor. So the only thing that changes is the chord progression where the A minor starts the progression and the chords resolve back to A minor. But it makes the solo sound very different because each note is now a different interval relative to the tonic of the key. But that said, C major and A minor share the same notes and the same chords, they're just organized differently. How do you know what is the relative minor of what? Well, just look on your E string. If it's major, put your pinky on it, and the relative minor is just down 3 frets, starting on the 6th of the major key. So C down to A. Or if you're thinking minor and you want to find the relative major, just go up 3 frets from the root to the minor third, so A up to C. If I was in C minor, the relative major of that would be E flat. We always got to be 2 letters apart. So C goes to E flat. So E flat major and C minor are relative minor and major, just as C major and A minor are relative minor and major, right? They're always going to be 2 letters apart and 3 frets apart. So C down to B, down to A, right? A minor, C major. If you want to understand this topic completely and from the ground up, I invite you to join me for the fretLIVE Fretboard Mastery Program. Every time I make a one-off YouTube lesson like this, I realize that everyone watching it is at a different level of understanding. And I try to make it so that no matter what level you're at, you can get what you're ready for out of each video. And as I'm sitting here talking about relative major and minor, some of you might not be ready for that. Some of you might be beyond that. And for some of you, it might be the perfect topic. But for all of you, the best way to learn is in a step-by-step way, starting from the very beginning. And most people that learn guitar on YouTube, which is a blessing, have the same common problem, which is they're getting a lot of different information, and it's really confusing because they're learning different bits here and there, and they're not learning it in the way that we traditionally learn anything, which is start at the beginning, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and so on. So as a lifelong teacher, master's degree in music ed from Columbia University, former public school music teacher, former curriculum director for Music Will, the nation's largest music ed nonprofit, my whole mission has always been to make things that seem complicated feel fun and easy to learn. And what I've always been tasked with doing is finding the right roadmap to learning any subject. And all that being said, that's why I created the fretLIVE Fretboard Mastery Program, which is our flagship course. It's a 16-week program that teaches how music works on the guitar fretboard from the very beginning over the course of 12 units. We start with the musical alphabet, seeing the notes as intervals, combining those intervals to create a key, scales, chords, triads, and ultimately the sounds that we know and love in the music that we listen to and in the music that we want to create. And I designed this course to be a hybrid program where you have a library of sequential videos and PDFs and quizzes and things online, but there's twice weekly live Zoom guitar classes, and there's a private group where you can share your work and discuss topics with 30 to 40 other classmates. So I offer this once or twice a year. The next one is July 13th, just in a week from now. If you're watching this in the future, whatever the next live cohort is going to be will be linked in the description. But if you rather just access a self-paced program where you get all the materials at once and go through them at your own pace, but there's also replays of past live sessions at the end of each unit. You could also get that as well for 50% off. But the live experience is where I find students have the most meaningful experience because it's just like a college course. You'll get to know your classmates, you'll get to know me, you'll get week-by-week feedback, and we all get together each week as we go through each topic. So the link to join us is in the description. Hope to see you on the inside. Let's get back to the lesson. That being said, we start with the most common note to bend in this pattern. In the case of major, it's the 2 bending to the 3, right? Usually I draw an arrow to the note we're bending to, but he doesn't bend directly to it. It's sort of dramatic, a little melancholic, right? So it goes through that bluesy middle ground. This is the major blue note, the flat 3. So it goes through the blue note, through the flat 3, and then basically touches the major 3. Right? And I'm just grabbing that note with my ring finger, and I'm using this sort of fulcrum technique to just use my forearm to twist the string up. Now, as you see, I started using my ring finger because that's what I would do. But in my playthrough, to show you my hands, because you couldn't see his so well, I tried to use his exact fingering, and he uses his second finger here. But same concept, just kind of pushing with this twisting motion. So get a good grip and just twist your wrist. Right? Then we go down to the root, to the 5th. 1, 5, so. And over this part, the chords are F, F minor, C. So it's F, F minor, C. Now this is part of the C chord, the C triad. Right? Right, now we go up the pentatonic. He uses second finger. You could pick it up, but you could hammer it on, or a mixture of the two. Then open G string. Now, in previous iterations of this solo, Noel didn't always do this open G string thing. There's these small variations, but the solo is still basically the same. You know, the solo has its main features. This is a main feature. This is a main feature. Right? This is a main feature. Of course, but the rhythm and the small connecting notes can always differ, and you could change them yourself, and Noel changes them from night to night or from year to year. You know, they evolve. So open G string, 5, 7, 5, 7, open, which is this note, just playing it as an open string. Then this is a really cool move where we bend the 7th fret of the G string, which is the 2nd of the C major chord. We bend it to the 3rd, and then we play the 5th of the C chord with our pinky. So Noel used the middle finger to do the bend, and then takes that pinky and plays the G, the 5th, right, with the pinky. So now that's beautiful because it's part of this C triad. You could play that triad like this. Country players do that a lot. Then bring that middle finger down and play 7/5 twice. Putting that together really slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now the next phrase starts the same way. Now we do this Basically, we're grabbing this C triad, but just the middle two strings, and we're hammering on from the 5th to the 6th. Little embellishment. But we want to hear that G string, the root, the C, we want to hear that G string while we do that. So for me, I bring my elbow in, and that helps me keep this barred while this that helps me with those embellishments. Some guys have really flexible fingers. They can go. To me, that feels too cramped. I like to kind of bring my wrist down and elbow in. Then we go 5/7 on the A to 5 on the D, and 7/5 backslide to the root on the 3rd frets. Now this is straight out of the Let It Be solo. That's the Beatles' Let It Be solo, which I have a lesson on as well. So Noel Gallagher, no secret, the Beatles are like his favorite band. Now here, 5/7 hammer on the A, 5 on the D, backslide 7/5 on the A, finish on fret 3, the root. So this is where we get started on this pentatonic staircase. If we think through the pentatonic scale where we have sets of whole steps that are stacked on top of each other, in this main pattern, pattern 1, we have a 3-string whole step stack. I call it a 3x2 box. So there's this, that. See, on each string, the notes are a whole step apart. And they're stacked. Awesome. Now, in pattern 5, we have that on the E and the A string, and the B and the high E. We don't have it here, but we have it here. So it's very common to go, to skip this note altogether, and instead come down to there and then get these extra 2 notes. So get used to going instead of and then you get those extra 2 notes on the bottom. Awesome. So all right, so now I'm going to workshop this first riff, and what I'm going to do is start the riff the same with this part, but I'm going to answer that with a different idea, something new, inspired by Noel, but slightly different, because that's what he does. He starts with the same riff, then answers it 2 different ways. So I'm just going to mess around with different ways to answer that call with a different response. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Let's try to keep this bend, but phrase it slightly differently. 3, 4. Nice. Now we go to that bottom string. And go straight up the scale. 3, 5, 3, 5, slide, 5, 7, 5. 3, 5, 3, 5, slide, 5, 7, 5. Now to go fast, you can pick each string one time. Pick, 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 pick. I like to pick the A string twice. Pick, 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 slide, pick, 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 slide, pick, pick. Right? But you could do one pick, right? Or it wouldn't sound very good to go. It sounds better to slide. It's more vocal that way. Little vibrato when we land on that root note on the 5th fret of the G string. Right, I'm doing the fulcrum vibrato, kind of resting my palm on the bottom of the neck and just pulling down and then pushing back. Again, we take that same note we started with the bend, and we go up and down. And then pull off, so. Or, if you don't want to pull off, you can pick that note too. I would pull it off. So you get 3 notes for 1 pick. Now, I'm always muting adjacent strings with this finger or with my palm, especially with all this distortion. That's how we keep the guitar from sounding like this. Right, we want to be able to control those open strings. So one way is with the left hand, the flesh of the finger. The other hand is with the flesh of the palm. Putting that all together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now again, Noel's using the middle finger. I find the pull off hard with just these fingers. It's much easier with the ring finger than with the... But you could still do it. Okay, now we continue this staircase. Because now if we look in the next pattern, the only 2x2 we have is on the top 2 strings. The only little 2x2 box. So we have this one, we have, and we have. Now here we use the A string as our transition string to get into this 2x2 right here. Right, so. And now we use the G string as our transition string. There we slide into the roof of what I call the House of Blues. So this little 2x2 is in the House of Blues. It looks like a house. So we slide on the G string with our middle finger to the peak of the roof of the House of the Blues, and then 1, 3, 1, 3, right? So it helps to use your second finger here so that then you get this 1, 3, 1, 3, right? So. So see if you can do this whole staircase. 3, 5, 3, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7 with the middle finger, 9, 8, 10, 8, 10. So you want to be able to do that freely. Now look how little I'm picking. Right? You could pick every note, but one of the great things about pentatonics is getting that slippery, slidey sound. I found that I pick a little less than Noel picked when I watched how I played it and put the video side by side. You'll see he's picking a little bit more than me. There might be some notes I'm picking he's pulling off, but in general, he's picking a little bit more than me. Okay, so after we go... So we're sliding. So as you learn all of these phrases, you want to be able to hum them first. Do-dee-ya-boo-da-boo-da-da-da-da. Do-dee-ya-da-da-do-da-da-da-da. And if you can't hum the right notes, at least the rhythm. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. 3, 4. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Then da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And if you can hum the notes. Do-ya-do-da-do-da-da-do-da. So you'll really internalize it that way, and you won't go fishing on the guitar and be like, wait, let me look at the tab. You want to make sure you hear it in your head first, and then it'll be much easier to then find it on the guitar. And the way that you know you hear it in your head is you could hum it, at least the rhythm. Do-do-da-do-da-do-da-da-da-da. Then 3 times on the C, on that 8th fret, the tonic. Do-ya-do-da-do-da-da-dee-da-da-da-da. All right, now I'm going to workshop that diagonal. 3, 4. Right? Similar but different. 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. Okay, now we get into this tricky little riff. It's very guitar friendly, but the cool thing is it sounds really cool because it's a grouping of 3 notes over a 4/4 time signature. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. So what happens is let's say this note, it's going to land on a different part of the measure each time, or a different part of the beat. So first it lands on the 1E and a 2E. Then it ends on the E of 2. 1E and a 2E and a 3. Then it ends on 3. So 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. So it keeps landing on a different part of each beat. So he does that for one measure, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. Then the second measure that he does that, he just starts with a C, D, C. So it's 8, 10, 8 on the E, and then back to the. So we do 8, 10, 8 on the high E one time, and then back to the 8, 10 on the B to the 8 on the high E. 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. So how could I change this up a little bit? Maybe. That's kind of cool. Or maybe go backwards. Or maybe add a... Right? So we can use all of these areas, all these riffs, all these rhythms to just get fluid with them. We want to get fluid because we can't improvise if we only know exact phrases. We have to take phrases and practice saying them with our own style. And then they will come out in our improvisation and will feel more natural when we improvise. But this gives us ideas to work with. Then we take this double stop and slide it up to this pattern. Same pattern, just all the way up on the neck. Right? It's just this, the octave of... It's the octave of that pattern, right? And we're going to the third on the 17th fret and the second on the 19th fret. Which is very dissonant, but when we go, but we're going to do a unison bend. So after you go, you know, so we have that moment of dissonance, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we go into this bend. So this is a unison bend. So the trick here is we need to hold our index finger on that 17th fret of the B string and not let it move while we then take our middle finger and bend the 19th fret up to the sound of this same note, right? So we want the note E. From here, we're bending this note to the sound of this note, right? These are the same note. Guitar, the intonation and tuning isn't perfect here, but it's good enough for rock and roll right now, so. Right, so see if you can hear a match. Eventually you get there, right? But the key is to not let that finger move. So, right? And he keeps the dissonance going by bending to it over and over. So here's the rhythm. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a, again there. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. There's the first half. We drop down this 19th fret of the G string down to the 17, then to 19 of the D, then 17, 19 on the G. So then we bend that 19 again on the G up and down. So and then 17, 19, 17, 17. So vibrato on that last note. And then twice on the 19. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a... Now, this is the final phrase. That's the bends, but now the right hand, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a... So at one point he downstrums continuously. So 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a... And then slides it down and goes back into the final chorus. So you can practice these moves in any key on any song, major or minor like we talked about, and you just want to workshop them to make them part of your own vocabulary. Another thing you want to try to do is play these riffs in different areas of the neck and in different octaves. So check this out. Notice how you could play these riffs in different areas. So this, realize that that's here. Just one octave higher, right? Or here. Or even here. Or, we could start that an octave higher. Right, so you want to try moving ideas into different octaves. This here, obviously, you know, this here, do it here. I actually found that easier because from here, you know, but there, when you do this one, you got to skip 2 frets. When you have a high E note and you want the B note to do the unison bend, you skip 2 frets. Whereas here, you only have to skip 1 fret. Whereas this. All right, everybody, I hope that you enjoyed that lesson, that you learned some things that you can take back into your own guitar playing vocabulary and style and know-how. And if you want to understand all the music theory stuff from the very beginning so that it all is connected and makes sense, definitely check out the fretLIVE Fretboard Mastery Program. Next live cohort starts next week. The vast majority of people watching this will be watching it in the future, well after that date. So whatever the next one is going to be in the description, but the self-paced is always available and always at a steep discount, and that includes all the same material and replays of the live lessons as well. And if you want to watch a course trailer and hear some student testimonials, that's also linked in the description. Last but not least, I just want to give an extra special thank you to the supporters of this channel on Patreon and the following upper tier POW Music patrons: AJ Miller, Sean Ellis, John Cushman, Stephen Pisano, David Bowersox, Tomas Martinez, Jens Fischer, Kay Carter, Jim McGinnis, Dave Hubner, LW, Robert Fowler, Dean York, Wayne Evans, Jeff, CJ LeMay, John DCT1, Hal Jones, Sean Westfall, Carlton Hicks, Greg Payne, Edmund Trusty, Ciaran Caruthers, Michael DeToma, Jeffrey Davis, Christian Drager, Christian, Stephen Hudak, Ryan Toole, No Sleep, Joe Taylor, John Ford, Darren Victory, PSJ, Kurt, Marnix, Carlos, Alex Diaz, Bob Griffin, Luke McGrain, C. Eduardo Guiche, Daniel Bogdan, James McComas, Thilo, Matthew Karch, Ricky Ramirez, Ozzy Toe, TC, Doug Rutledge, Renee, Jay Shout, John Butler Staples, Chris, Kyron, Dr. Neve Morgan, Tony O'Malley, Leroa, Cyrus Ben Daniels, Adam Wolf, Louis Perucha, Fede, Jerry, Gary Grant, Colin McClive, Colin Rhodes, Nick Coons, John Taggarty, Sean Friedberg, James Walensky, David Siamega, Robert Lenson, Carl, Pavel, John Jurgens, John Walls, Jim Pratt, Ricky, William McCain, Brandon. Thank you all so much for your ongoing support, and thank you to all of the POW Music patrons that make this free content possible. Happy playing, and I'll see you next time.